Mohamed Polo, the magnificent, a story about the magician player. The player with different accolades. I'm a maestro, I'm a wizard, I'm Polo to Polo, I'm Wonder Boy, I'm player extraordinaire, I'm scientist footballer, different accolades. And you are in the country. I became a coach from showing to the whole Ghana public that this man, after football, he will become a coach, because I became a coach player.
I mean, Sunday, Mafia clock, where Danike, Mafia clock a galley, Nipaposto, when you have to take a boboli, you have to look of you, Bobon was it.
No Nwaka, didn't agree some of you by Miniba.
Oh, Messi, I can hear your yake into machine, Bammy, or local fee. Oh, local back, my name into machine.
My often a bow and tower like or you.
Oh, look, fine. And I was on a ship of Lingalangako. A year won't know me, will expect you fine. Nintal 7 is J. No go by, you're fine. She'd make a poison, only tree but for few, she know me.
Coaching is putting your thinking into action. That is what coaching is about. Now, I studied them, I saw them, I revisited the match they played against us. Then I saw that we gave them enough space to operate, because they are full of techniques. The boys, the 14, 20, 10, 8, 12. Very, very with the ball when you give them space. So we try something called tracking and getting free. Track them, get free and play. So we deny them the space for them to maneuver.
In terms of power play, it's zilch. If you watch our game against Mali, the young man was running away from taking the ball. He didn't want it. Give me away, give me away. He was practically running away. He was running away when we were being marooned and we were under attack from the Malians, and he had the opportunity of staking a claim in the team. Anytime an attempt was made to him with the ball, with the pass,
he's running away.
He's running away, leaving the ball,
hiding
behind opponent. This whole Telemundo, it's like it's something that sometimes
for the uninitiated, Telemundo is a channel that shows telenovelas.
Yes.
So this is like a soap opera.
It's like a soap opera. This clearly is a soap opera. It's winding down. So let's call Extramadura man from Extramadura man. Mora, when the boy is coming to the player, he's running away. Do you know what's the game? And shockingly, there's a certain miraculous acrobatism.
Na message said there, masin san players akuku da mama mutim na gina masa. Players be na masin san. Team na no ayehye. Team wo de bubo players na mame. Sakim CH. Hwa? Sakim CH. Aha. Team over na. What's that? Team over na. Aha. Cavers. Hwa? Cavers. Cavers nyina ya san omo. Eze sister asikupileta mo munya bi mo. Sister asikupileta onya bi mo. Ayi omo se ayi Brazil anyway. Ya sign no. Brazil ni bay. Omo fẹ́ no wa se silver se wa Tiago Silva. Aha, Tiago Silva. You say
me the Felix in on against stand. My stand be say me Adamu. I no go need my job. Go marry. No, you see, I don't need my job. Go marry.
So you refuse to punish them.
They're not the punishment. It serves you right. No, not the punishment. See. You choose. You choose love over job. Exactly what you do. Because what Chirata go do? No day. When Chirata go marry.
Yeah.
So if the footballer, see, 29, we don't play football. You don't marry. We start league after we fall. You say they go marry.
That be the time where money catch.
No. So you choose love over career. And so if today you get your lover, the coach say they give you more time to go chop love. So it's not a big deal. Me, I guess that I thought that this matter they are getting.
Does Don Bote still want to play football? You are 36 years old.
Forget about the age.
We cannot forget about the age, Don. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. inner me, forget about the age. What you want me to come and do for you?
You still think you can perform at the highest level?
Why?
In Ghana?
Yeah. Not in Ghana, sir.
Anywhere?
Yeah.
You train?
Serious.
By yourself?
Always.
Why don't you want to join a club and train?
You see, that's what I'm saying. Them themselves, they don't believe themselves. The coaches don't believe themselves. They are not real coaches. They don't. You have to believe yourself that no, this guy can do it for me. If you believe me, I can do it. But so far as you just relax yourself, no. If I come safe, I won't get that spirit because you don't believe me.
So you think that if a Premier League team were to give you an opportunity to play, you would make an impact?
Ghana, yeah.
Yes.
I can play past all the current players. The current players in Ghana Premier League.
That's a serious statement coming from somebody who hasn't played in almost a year.
You know something? I know myself. That's why I said, if you don't know me, you don't know me.
You see, as for a game, like when you get a chance, you play, every blessed player will decide to score, and then we decide to. So when you both decide together, then you miss the chance. I decide differently, and he also decide differently, and our decision was together. That's why I raised my head and went to the goal post and put the ball.
You have 3 or 4 phones. What messages have you been receiving?
I haven't even read them because they keep on coming. They keep on coming. I think that I have to turn one of the phone off.
You haven't read any of them? Messages?
No, not at all. Look, they still calling. They still calling. Phones are calling.
Welcome and welcome again. Sports Panorama. Benjamin Nketia here. Charlie, the Bruna start to traffic everywhere, but still vim. Your traffic situation is my delight, sorry, because you get to listen to Sports Panorama. More of you won't go chill. That's what it is. This week, trending has been Richmond Lamptey. I didn't want to talk about him because I feel like it's a horse we've beaten many times before. But it so happens that he's had a pretty decent 4-game run. Overall, a decent season for Asante Kotoko. Had quite a game against Accra Hearts of Oak. And there's been the debate about whether he deserves a place in our national team. And generally, with the bigger picture, if this Black Stars is above including national team players from the home-based league because the team has been terrible. That's the debate on the table. We'll be getting some thoughts on that. The Black Queens, of course, they have been ranked 4th in Africa. Mediama Sporting Club, they received their 1 million Ghana Cedi from President Akufo-Addo ahead of their younger game on Wednesday. Ghana's Thomas Partey has returned to training. Last week, we discussed Partey and Kudus making the CAF 11. This week, shout out to our good friend Sam Ziga, posted a video that just caught fire in no time. And then Zinchenko confirmed that indeed the octopus is back. Arsenal fans have such a love-hate relationship with Partey. It's so funny. Before the injury, half of them swore he needed to leave their club. Following the announcement, people are doing the sign of the cross and things. Amazing times. Also, there's a big game this weekend, and it's Manchester United visiting Liverpool at Anfield. Again, very interesting observations throughout the week. It looks like the United fan base have sort of accepted their fate already, but I tell you that this game will be something to fight for. Later, why? So proudly brought to us by Game Park Limited. Bell Beverages, specifically Puka. Coach, you have been observing the week.
The birthday guys in the hizzy.
Oh yeah. you have been observing good tidings during the week.
What are the chances that a man and his wife will celebrate the same birthday?
Next to 0. I know one person.
Sensational.
I know one person. Yeah.
Who's that?
Our good friend. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Interesting stuff. But coach, you need to commit our national team into God's hands.
Jehovah Zebaoth. Oh. Wakamene swanima swanama swa.
Oh.
Yewa wakashi dambo
Hey.
Ni wobale woba. Mene informo gbini. Yewa nke shidambo.
Oh, nyuma jobo.
Mrs. Nimleke shida ahambo.
Amen.
Ondaboshin.
Amen.
Abo fambi etui. Be shena babo opemu edenche.
Nakai.
Wakagana mu fefe klalo. Akebie anukwale
son.
Kebemi owo you ni Ghana man bi fele akeshi. Ka me tana me le anukwale ni yo sanji ni yo sports mi Ghana. Ne kan program ne je wo fan wo gbe
Wo male ye bie.
Beni Richard Atta efe ne wo han le akeshi emusu dato. Richard Atta housekeeper ajele team me. Actually team me.
Atta take note.
Emusu da waka gbulugban Indomie akabe na aka try mark 12 mark 1 Richard Atta Indomie le kufu kafe
check
Alaja can be Richard Atta naturally
check
I will no more meaning ni too much waka yesu la Kenya ke Richard Atta ajele eje musu dato enye dive enye kutu enye fero enye tu mini keeper de any more has enye tu enye dive musu ba adwa akene me ba Yehowa hin Black Stars ele henu form e share anukwale ho ba yue jomo program ne e akebode nche o program ne eni bi pi obi o ye Yesu ba me
amen. The tone is set. 0549 986 996. Richard Atta. How many times did I call you? Coach says wherever you are, 3 words. Respect yourself. And also to the triplets at Accra Hearts of Oak. Please. The fans need to see better from Richard Atta. The fans deserve better. Oh, the triplets, they know themselves. The triplets, they know themselves. 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Let me start off with you, Nathan. Really interesting conversation. I'm sure you've been following all that Lamptey, chitty chatter, local players, deserve a spot in the team because our team is down on its knees, and at this point, it can't get any worse. But I'm also saying that I'm just thinking about it critically. I feel like even when local players were prominent in this country, when we had a prominent league, we had stars in this league, none of those stars actually ever commanded a regular place in the Black Stars. I mean, they barely ever got call-ups. So I'm asking, why now, when we can all tell, and especially on the backdrop of people like Afriye Barnier, Kwame Poku, Ibrahim Danlad, you talk about the media boy. I mentioned quite a number of names. I feel like, look, this conversation is a little skewed because people believe that the Black Stars aren't doing well because we don't have a good team. I reject that notion 110%. I've said it before. I think that this team has a poor culture. There's a poor structure with the leadership. And then there's this mental fragility. And I don't know how to put it. If it's some nonchalance. They don't seem to care about anything.
Yeah.
So I reject the notion completely that this team individually doesn't have quality. I don't know what you make of all of it. Lamptey, has he done enough? What does this mean for the bigger picture of the league?
This is what I will say. Every team or every national team or places in national teams should be earned based on merit.
To the last spot.
Every player who gets to play for the national team has to play because he deserves to be there. Has made an argument to be there. Now, we know that not everybody will play. But if you are picking a 23, there should be no questions around the 23. Nobody should say, how is that guy making the team? We should all know. Then in that 23, the coach will pick 11 who can execute a game plan for him at a given time. And then the others can come in, supplement the efforts or their options to change games. So I followed a lot of the debate around whether or not Richmond Lamptey should play or shouldn't play. Look, the decision rests with the national team selectors. Now, what do the national team selectors want from a player? You see, and I think it even goes back to a bigger question. What type of football do we even play as a national team for us to know whether Richmond Lamptey fits or doesn't fit?
Good question.
So once we haven't fully answered that question, we can throw names about. But what are those players going to do? Should we just throw them in there because we have to? Of course, we can craft policy to say that as a way of promoting the league, when we build the national team or we are going to play a tournament, we'll take 1 or 2 players from the Ghana Premier League. But they must be good. But we are also taking them to give them an opportunity to expose themselves.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't hand out national team places like the way Yao Ming hands us Tom Tom after lunch. Because, we like the let's throw. No. So I've heard people say, well, yeah, it's low, so let's just throw players in there. And why are we doing that? So because the national team is suffering, we just look around and throw any player in there. Why would you want to do that?
I said helps the league.
See, nothing should be done.
They say currently nothing shows that the crop of players we have are better than the players in the Ghana.
So we throw them in for them to go and give the same 40 over 100 performance. What is the point?
Yeah.
What really is the point? See, we need to answer the primordial question. What type of football do we want to play? Then we can start from there and see who in the local league fits the profile. I'm not saying that players in the local league are bad. I'm saying if we had a way we played and it was properly identified and we knew, we can look around and say, we need that guy because he fits a profile. He answers a question. You put him in there. He's solving your problem for you very, very quickly. And then we proceed from there. But once we haven't answered the question, it's like we just want to throw places at people. We'll take them in, let them go around. They won't even play in the main game anyway. Or we are doing it to hype their transfer value. So we add a few more zeros to the transfer
Every
fee.
reason but footballing reasons.
So we need to get a bit more serious. Why do we want a player to go and play in the national team? Look, if a player is good enough, nobody has to make a case for him.
Oh,
everybody will see. This is what everybody will see. And if that player keeps getting overlooked, we'll make that point. All the players we talk about who are not in the national team, is it because we like them? No, it's because they are good. We mentioned Duncan, we know he solves a problem. We mentioned Jeffrey Schlupp, we know he solves a problem.
Yeah.
Bernard Mensah and others. So the point is, we need to ask ourselves that basic question. Have we ID'd how we want to play? If yes, do we have players in the league who can fit in the system? If yes, bring them in. Bring them in. Once they have acquitted themselves, well, let them play. I have no problem giving a deserved spot to a deserved player or a player who is deserving of that spot. But let us not hand out national team caps as if they are t-shirts in the warehouse. When you get there, no, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. And under Kwesi Appiah, it happened a lot. Kwesi Appiah part 1, it happened a whole lot. We were calling players 2 minutes. This was national team cup. By the time we were done, we had over 40-50 players who had come through there as if the national team was on parking lot or drive-through. When you drive through, then you take 1 cap, 3 caps, 5 caps, 10 minutes, then you go. No, let's not do that. Let us not do that. I feel like this conversation about Richmond Lambs, it shouldn't be necessarily about him per se.
The bigger picture.
But it's the bigger picture we need to think about. And once we are thinking about all of it, we need to think about the Ghana Premier League again. We need to think about it critically. Ben, it breaks my heart every time I watch images of the Ghana Premier League because it's disturbing. It's sad.
That makes you Coach Nibili and myself. I have to always find the ball when we are watching Ghana Premier League matches.
The coverage, some way. Player quality, some way. You don't really understand what it is we are doing.
Yep.
And this business of finding an identity, Ben, is important. As a country, we need to understand the kind of football we want. 20 teams or 18 teams in the league will all not play the same way, but they should have principles running through. Once we have that and we know what we are doing, it's easy to take players out of the league and put them in the national team. Go to Spain, not every team plays the same way. But if you go and take a player from Almeria and Girona and Barcelona, if you put them in a Spanish national team, they won't struggle. Why? Because there's a simple running theme that is there. So the question is not about who should play and who shouldn't. We need to think about even building the football itself so that when the national team and the league meet at a point where the football is similar, it is very easy. We go to media. Is there a player there? Oh, that guy, he fits in perfectly. He understands what we want. You plug, play, it will work. Once we create that system, we shouldn't try and contrive and force it. It will not work. It just will not work. Deserving players need deserving spots. National team selection should always be done on merit.
Thank you, Coach.
You see, I was very shocked, extremely very, very shocked when I heard the comment of including Richmond Lamptey into the Black Stars. Look, I've always said something. It's about the standard required. So when it comes to the Black Stars, that is the pinnacle of our game. They are to represent the best 23 or 26 players we have as a country in every department.
Yep.
This Black Stars team have been run by dishonest people for years. So therefore, anybody thinks that he can sit somewhere and just throw a name out there. By the time you realize, that name is in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I can give you several examples of names that were just thrown in there to test the waters.
Yeah.
But by the time you now realize
they were on the plane,
they were part of the team. And we've come here to say that the standard required to represent Ghana, so and so players do not deserve to be in the team. Look, I don't care whether the player is a local player or he's a foreign player.
Once he doesn't meet the standard.
Once he meets the standard, he doesn't meet.
Let him go.
Quick. You don't delay in that.
Like the way Atta used to meet the standards.
Exactly.
And these days he doesn't.
And if some people are mentioning names there, look, we are going to an AFCON that everything is pointing to the fact that we will not win. We will not win to the tournament. We are not going to win.
We shouldn't even think about winning. We need to set more realistic goals.
That's what I'm saying. So therefore, if you are a practical thinking country when it comes to football, you should be targeting the next AFCON and the World Cup in America. As we speak, if we need a player to go and make the Black Stars better, can you look at our league and mention one player? I don't think Richmond Lamptey is the best player in his position in our league. I don't think so.
Yep. This argument has also come up.
I don't think so. So who are those putting out the names out there? Stop it. Because Because at the end of the day, you are not helping solve a problem. I've had problems with Edmond Ado being in the team. Because I think he solves no problem. He rather worsens the problem in the Black Stars midfield.
How Ado skillful?
No, how
did they get to this? From dueling with Tony Cruz.
So I looked
to being threatened.
Jeffrey Schlupp last week against Liverpool. And I asked myself, why is he not in our Black Stars? I look at Alfred Duncan last week against Roma, 90 minutes. I ask myself, why is he not in our team?
Yep.
I look at Bernard Mensah last week. I ask myself, look, is Richmond Lamptey closer to any of those three players?
Nope.
So please, we don't want the argument like Nathan said.
At this point, even Ashimeru is on the brinks of this team. He's not even broken.
He's not even a regular.
Yep.
If everybody were to show up on form,
yeah,
okay.
Don't forget Kofi Tre is even injured.
Yeah. There's Partey, there's Duncan, there's Schlupp, there's Ashimeru, there's Bernard Mensah, there's Kudus. There's in that midfield.
Yeah,
where will Richmond Lamptey go and fit?
They say you should take him along and give him exposure.
No, what sort of exposure? Ben, Midiama, look, if I want to give a player a better exposure, I'll be looking at the Midiama, even the Dreams FC team.
Yeah.
They are continentally proving that or showing that they can compete with the elite. Because I know that when the Moroccan mention their team, there will be 1 or 2 or 3 local players from Morocco.
Definitely.
Who will be part of the team. So if a Midiama player who is competing with that Morocco player in the Champions League is called, I know that the standard there is being kept.
Yeah.
When the Midiama player goes and he sees, oh, manager ngale to our Champions League. Manager Morocco Jeminjegang. Money boy Chobachi Abalemi. But this our league. It's a very substandard league. It's a very bad league. I'm not saying it to destroy the league. But if you want a player,
they know. You don't need to tell them.
To go to the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire and make an impact in the Black Stars. Look, technically I'll be looking at only Midiama and Dreams FC players. See whether I can get 1 or 2 and push them in there. So all that we are saying is that it's a humble plea. I've told the people, I'll continue to tell them. Put your egos aside. I'm telling the Ghana Football Association, put your egos aside. Those of you who ride for them, tell them to put their egos aside. When your player does a simple 1 minute, hey, it's Ayaku, what a ball, what a pass, it's Ayaku.
Don't do this.
Minkabo, you are no quality, I'm a loy. You are no quality anymore. If you have to write on players who are doing well, you not only pick 1 or 2 because they are from your camp. Put aside your egos. Go talk to people. You see, when people like Asamoah speaks with passion and you don't listen, but small man, baby, you don't like the country to go forward. Asamoah spoke about Ashimeru. Asamoah again is saying that the next player to go for, if possible, go talk to Bernard Mensah.
He's a striker. He knows what number 10.
Papa juggler, Papa number 10.
Who is this?
Oh, Bernard Mensah, as we speak, is more effective than the day in the number 10 room.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I'll say it.
Thou art not crucified.
You understand? So if you are looking at giving Ghana the best shot, Ghana need Bao Black Stars view. You cannot move and talk to the parent of these boys and get them to bring their children to come and play. When Jeffrey Schlupp make an impact in this team?
Jeffrey Schlupp is a 5-star player.
I can bet my last best one.
5-star.
The ball I have seen Alfred Duncan play this season. The most effective Ghanaian player in the Italian league since Kodwa Samoa dipped has been Alfred Duncan. He struggled to get into our team to the extent that he said, take your team, I won't play again. Please Please put aside your ego. So it brings disgrace and embarrassment. We were embarrassed in Cameroon.
Yeah.
This one is just nearby Cote d'Ivoire. No more nearby Cote d'Ivoire.
Next door.
If we go there, we get disgrace.
West side.
No, come on.
Check out refreshments.
But my crowd to buy.
Fancy.
Me can call you. I'm
a banana kwahabo.
Dabi, come here, no where you. Ni bonwe.
I check it.
What? Where?
Yeah.
We are just saying that.
Tilapia.
Look out, Nathan. Look out for the best Ghanaian players. Whether local,
they should meet
or foreign. Give us the best players to that. You see, when we put our best foot forward, we get beat. We tell ourselves, could we have done anything different? I don't think so. So we're just not up to the standard required. We accept and then we move on. But we don't want to go and come back for somebody to come and tell me if we've got Ronaldo or Messi, we should go and bring them. Why those winning the cup don't have Ronaldo and Messi? So we are ending the Richmond Lamptey. This conversation after this program should end quick. Nobody should be.
You mean the advocacy should stop?
They should stop it. Don't give this any mileage because it is going nowhere. It was dead on arrival. No more pass near him. Pass.
It's okay. You're going too far.
Pass near him under no pressure. He's a fine player.
Yeah.
But he's not gotten to the level required to go into the Black Star. Not even as a third substitute. Not as a third substitute. He's not the best player in our local league in his position. Is it because he plays so? Richard Atana chele no emusuefe agbogenye. Richard Atana chele no emusuefe bulugbankenye Richard Atana.
It's okay. Let me let Edwin.
Le po achele blaster imeke ache. No ne emusuefe bulugbankenye bulugban. I'm turning
your microphone. I'm turning your microphone off.
No, but guys, just a final note. I just want to say something about this one. Is just on the side. Hearts of Oak, please fix your goalkeeping department.
No, I'm serious.
Hearts have not had a super goalkeeper in many years.
This team had the likes of Salifu Ansa. Those days, Saleh, Richard, Samir J, Eben Dida, Nano. Good goalkeepers. Good, fantastic goalkeeper. James Nano.
They need to really watch it. That's just something I've been observing for a while.
Word to the triplets. Edwin.
Ben, I'm going to keep this very, very brief. Yeah. I completely agree. Richmond Lamptey has had a very good last couple of weeks. He's been in very good form. And of course, he performed in the Super Clash against Hearts. I think that's basically what sealed the hype around him. Playing against Hearts. And of course, there were a lot of eyes on him. A lot of hype went around it. Kotoko obviously won, so that built out the hype. But I don't think a lot of the people who are hyping him up have watched the other games this season. He's a quality player on his day, no doubt. But he has not been good for large parts of the season. He's had a good last few weeks, but throughout the course of the season, right from the start to the point we are now, I wouldn't say he's the best midfielder in the league.
Do you think Richmond Lamptey can dominate the Black Stars midfield along these Egyptian midfielders? Or Moroccan midfield or Senegal players? No more car blocking no back with grass.
Oh, don't do that.
Look, and it speaks to a problem we have that when we are going into tournaments, then you see last minute names being brought in. By now, we should have seen the players that we are going to the tournament with. We should have used them before. You don't throw a player into a tournament setting like the AFCON with players he has never played with players he has no chemistry with players he's probably never seen before, and they expect him to perform. I think we are being unfair to the player himself. Because now expectations are being put on him. He has a bad game, and now everybody is ruling him out. It affects him, and then he drops in levels of performance, drops in terms of hype, and everybody forgets about him again. We don't want that. We want our players to have a steady rise. Of course, he is on that steady rise. Just let him be. Let him have his peace, and let him play his game. You bring him into the Black Stars conversation, and you start comparing him with other players. He starts being in the conversations with Baba Idrisu, with Salih Samed, with Thomas Partey. Is he better than any of those? No. Is he better than Alfred Duncan? Is he better than Majid Ashimeru? Is he better than Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield? No, he is not. So now we start having high expectations of him. If somehow he makes it into the team and he doesn't perform well, Ghanaians are going to rip him apart. They are going to rip him apart. And then probably that ends his career. If he's ever good in future, he might not make the Black Stars again. He might not get into a good team again.
Start the chant. He should go and dominate there.
Yes, he should go and dominate there. Let him earn his place in the Black Stars. He's a quality midfielder, no doubt, on his day. But putting him in an AFCON setting where the stakes are very high, placing him in a game against Egypt, no disrespect to him, but I don't think he is going to dominate in that game, especially when he's surrounded by players that he's not played a game with. And that is my biggest point. The coach by now should know exactly which players he's taking because he has used them before. He knows what they offer. It's not scouting 30 days to the tournament that is going to change anything. If he takes him to the tournament, how is he going to use him? He doesn't know him. Scouting doesn't prove anything. He needs to have been in the squad, needs to have been in the camp under the tutelage of the coach who has seen him play, who has seen him play in match settings, who has seen him on the training ground, knows what he has to offer before he throws him into the 26. Because you can't delay with your 26. So you have to have the best players available for the Black Stars in that squad. If you miss by one, say you have an injury in midfield, say you have a suspension, who are you going to bring in? Are you going to bring in the untested player? No, you can't. You need to have players of the same quality, of similar quality, who can come in and replace each other. If Thomas Partey goes injured, he's probably our key player. But you have a similar quality player. You have Majid Ashimeru, who can fit in terms of quality. He might not have the pedigree or the stature that Partey has, but in terms of quality, we knows what he can offer. If you are missing Baba Idrisu, Salih Samed steps in pretty well. So you need to have players who are ready to go, not players that you are experimenting with. No, Matra Makwe. This is not Matra Makwe. I accept it. We are not going to win. We are not going to win the AFCON, no doubt. But we need to put ourselves in a position where we don't embarrass this country again. The last few tournaments we've been in, we've embarrassed ourselves. Even the qualifiers, we embarrassed ourselves.
I wonder if we can go any lower than the 2019 AFCON in Cameroon. The 2021, AFCON in Cameroon. I wonder if we can sink any lower than that.
At least that tournament had Morocco, Comoros, and Gabon in our group. I think this group is way easier. In terms of, on paper, it's way easier. Apart from Egypt, who are almost certainly going to win the group. It should be way easier to qualify to the next stage. If we don't make it, I think it will be a bigger embarrassment than the last AFCON tournament. There's no way we shouldn't be making it through. But we reduce our chances significantly if we don't pick the best players available to us. And right now, I don't think Richmond Lamptey fits into that category of our best players for the AFCON.
Circumstances have a funny way of determining a lot of outcomes in this world. And is Richmond Lamptey the best player that we have on the local scene? I don't think so. But in the end, circumstances might just end up having him in the seat, flying all the way to Ivory Coast, or being bussed to Ivory Coast, since Ivory Coast is next door, or Cote d'Ivoire is next door. Because at the end of the day, let's face fact, Bernard Mensah, Jeffrey Schlupp, Alfred Duncan, I think the ship has sailed. I don't see them coming into the Black Stars. Not because they are not good players. They are very good players. But because I don't see them reconciling their differences with the present handlers of the Black Stars. So for me, I don't see them coming to the Black Stars. So for me, I put them aside. Then you also have the situation where you look at players that are presently in the Black Stars. Edmond Addo, for instance, what does he bring to the table? He's just a body occupying a spot on the Black Star sheet. So if you are going to be a body who isn't actively playing and who gets the chance to play minimal minutes or few minutes and doesn't add anything positive to the team, then I am better off getting a player who is playing competitively, week in, week out, training consistently, and performing and has hit a rich vein of form and is performing and performed on the biggest stage in Ghana, where you had Hearts of Folk playing against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. I don't think he's Black Star material yet. But looking at the current circumstances, if he ends up being called up to the Black Stars, I wouldn't have any problem, because who are we dealing with? Who do we have? At this point in time, Edmond Addo isn't offering anything to the Black Stars. So if you are going to take Edmond Addo out of the equation and fix a Richmond Lamptey in that equation, I will take it. At the end of the day, what is the playing style, to Nathan's point, what is the playing style of the Black Stars? Defend, gift possession away, and try to hit.
I'm surprised you are trying to make sense of the Black Star style of
So
play.
so on that score,
it's a style. There's something called haram ball for a reason.
There's no.
haram ball even has a formula. Haram ball has a formula. This team doesn't play haram ball.
Absolutely no style. There are spells where they will have like a 2-minute, 3-minute phase where.
Oh no, I've seen the style of the Black Stars. The Chris Hilton ball. I've seen it. Try to pass out from the back and play long balls for the strikers to run onto. Work the ball to the wings, cross it for the strikers to work on it. Then rely on individual brilliance, defend deep, and rely on individual brilliance to play a quick direct pass and set the speedsters off.
Pass the ball to Kudus and pray.
Yes. And in that situation, when you need someone who stands in between Kudus and the defenders, you need a passer, a straightforward passer. Yeah. You need a Daniel Kofiche. Is Kofiche available? He's not available. In that Ghana team, is there a one-time passer, one-touch kind of player who delivers a pass in that midfield? We don't have one. Salih Samed is not that kind of player. Baba Idrisu is not that kind of player. Kudus isn't. Pate can. But Pate, I doubt he'll go to the AFCON. Not because he isn't a committed player to the cause of Ghana.
I think we'll be stressing him by taking him to the
Yes, you're going to play him in this heat? No. When he just recovered from a thigh injury.
He's barely recovered.
No, exactly. So he won't be available. So you look at all these options that we have. Richmond Lamptey might, that's why I'm using the word circumstances. He might just end up being one of our better options in this team. Because he can deliver a quick one-time pass to set Iñaki Williams off, Joseph Pentil off, and Antoine Semenyo off. And that's what we need.
How many times has Richard Lamptey or Richmond Lamptey?
Yes, I think he's recorded 4 assists this season.
Giving quick one-time pass.
Consistently. And when you look at the Kotoko front line, it has had its fair share of wastefulness in front of goal.
Look, his standard in this league cannot be compared to even Barnier's standard when Barnier was in the league. How good was Barnier for the Black Stars? Yeah. No circumstance should take Richmond Lamptey to the AFCON.
See, the Ghana Premier League is bad. No,
the league is very. I agree with what you. I just want to tell you that his point is well noted. But if you are serious and you want to win, we are not going. We are going to spend money. What circumstance?
Taxpayers' money.
You better look for the best player in that position. It's not Richmond Lamptey. But in the league, The Midiama players are better than Richmond Lamptey. I'm telling you.
The Midiama players are already occupying different spots on the team. So there's Fatah Hamidu. He's a left full back. He can play as a backup to a Gideon Mensah or a Babarama.
No circumstance should take Richmond Lamptey. He's below the standard. If you want to be honest, he's below the standard required.
But at this point in time, you have Edmond Ado in the Black Stars.
I'm not comparing him.
No.
I'm a cable. You see, listen. It's not about comparing. Don't say
comparing.
They are all very bad players. Richmond Edmond Ado is a ball modern.
Yeah.
I say Richmond Lamptey, he should dominate even the chan. Let me see. Has he not? Ball modern mini ball
The thing is, in the land of even the one-eyed man is king. And looking at the options that we have,
he's not.
Looking at the options that we have, he is.
They say Richmond Lamptey is not even the one-eyed man. What? Okay, let's move it on. Let's talk about something else. Let me read a few messages that have been coming through so far. Let me get to the top of it. Onga from Madina says the show is live. Calm down, coach. The fire is too much on my keeper, Richard Atta. But on a more serious note, Emusudachon. Charlie.
What's the meaning?
His belly's big.
Oh yeah, that one.
He's completely out of it.
Late 90s team.
Indomie. Chibum.
Check.
The cowboys. I mean, when the video was shared on social, one of the comments somebody said, Domino.
Anajuko Sede Masa.
Oh my God. Kofi for Kazwa says no local player currently deserves to play in the national team. People are picking players from game one between Kotoko and Hearts. The level of GPL is poor, and let's not kid ourselves. How long do the average players in the GPL even complete a season before leaving to Libya, Iraq, and Ethiopia? Need Tojo from Tamanui Town. There's hope the GFA Black Stars technical team are doing their best for Mother Ghana. Happy birthday to Mr. and Mrs. Nimni. They'll definitely hear you. Ayuba Halilu from Pram says, all we need to do, know the kind of footballers we want, the kind of football we want to play, get a coach who understands that philosophy very well, and players who can play to that style. Then we can allow the coach to call the players he thinks could play to that style. Okay, and give the coach time to build a solid national team for us. This one here says, let Richmond Lamptey perform like Steven Gerrard. This FA won't hand him a call-up. It says they're vindictive. They will ignore him because of the betting brouhaha, although he was cleared by CAS. Can he improve the team? I doubt. Retired BS supporter from Kentucky didn't add the message. Yeah, from Spentex says the truth is heavy. Only few people carry it. Jewish proverb. Is GFA ready to carry it? Starboy from La Paz says, I personally don't dislike Richmond Lamptey, but I think he's not there yet. So please, the Kotoko supporters should stop this hype and let the guy focus on the league. K Black from Bowie says, this Lamptey hype is a calculated attempt by our brothers in Kumasi. The best player in the league so far is Manaf Umar. Kofi, listening from Mama Saman, says, good evening, crew. I agree with what Nathan is saying. If national team call-ups are not based on merit, there will be no unity in the team. Also, I am predicting that Liverpool will win against United with a very huge margin. Skillions from La says, Richmond Lamptey is not even better than Di Maria of Heart of Oak, so you should wait for his time, maybe after the AFCON. Kimani in Pram says, I watched Richard Atta's video and I laughed. Hearts power be this. Only in Ghana Premier League. The league is dusted anyway under Kurt. Don Shepherd from Shukura says, interestingly, Accra Hearts of Oak played its home game at the Kumasi Sports Stadium. I'm shocked. So I asked, the second leg, where will it be played?
It will be played in Kumasi.
It was technically Accra Hearts of Oak home game.
Mm-hmm. Joe Milo says, listening live from Delaware in the USA. Big shout outs. Working, but I have to watch. If they bob me out, I go fire me, guys. Make steady. Farouk headline inside Lakes Estate says, hi Ben, please, what happened to Bofakwa hooligans? They say they are dealing with their problem. They've handed them to police and things. Picasso from Amam from Please ask coach to say a prayer for my man. For my man, you ask we go to Anfield because I think they will beat us good. Nika Mubanchi inside Adeta. I don't know what that means. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Nika Mubanchi.
Come on, man. 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 It says I don't understand how United scored 12 goals, same as Bayern, and not qualify for the next stage of the UCL. Well, as for my Dreadlocks FC dear, this weekend they are on their own. Chelsea in Nipa Kasamenim Basa. Shout outs to coach. Namely, Nightmare from Dansoma says United, Man United from Overlord to Zukuzala. Clinton from Dansoman. Dear coach, have you noticed your good friend Antonio Rudiger is now one of the fittest players in Europe right now? Reese should contact him for his secrets. Let's take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, a good friend and a good colleague of ours is reaching us from far away. He wants to have his bite on the local players and Richmond Lamptey issue. Stay tuned. We'll find out who in a bit. We'll be right back. The lads are in the studio, Nathan Kwao, Yahweh Jamita, Edwin Kwa Kofi, and Coach Christopher Nimley. Let's go far away. Let's talk to our colleague, Godfred Akotobuafo. Godfred is on the line. Godfred, good evening. I don't know if it's evening, but good evening from wherever you are.
Good evening, Ben.
Charlie.
Good evening to the guys. I know it has been a while.
Yeah. Good to have you join us. What's up? What have been your qualms with this trending issue of putting Lamptey in the team or putting what I would call eligible players in the league in the Black Stars? Because some say that, look, we cannot be any worse than we already are. Let's give these guys a shot.
I have a very basic problem with that principle of we cannot be any worse than we are. So let's just take anybody. Then we are not building a national team. We are just being cynical. And I think that this conversation has been dominated by a lot of cynicism, has been dominated by a lot of partiality in that argument. And for me, I don't think it's even the Edmond Addo conundrum. And I think you had a tweet, which I really liked, how we feel that the solution to our problem is to replace the worst player in the national team with a player who is not qualified. How does that solve the problem? That is no solution. And it's, again, let me put it this way. When this conversation started, I had a chat with somebody who said, well, there's no difference between the quality of the league now and the quality of the league in 2010. And we had players in the national team from the league in 2010. So why do we change it again? And I asked the person, did the person watch the league in 2010? He said yes.
I was just about to ask the same thing.
Yes, and the person's opinion was that, and I can't take the person's opinion from him, was that, Samatex and Mediama are the same as the Brecum, Chelsea, and the Dianas of 2010 and co. I laughed about it, but that was the person's opinion. I know that football heads, talking heads would obviously disagree with the fact that Brecum Chelsea team of 2009, 2010, 2011 basically had that's a team that had Frank Achiampong, that had Richard Kisi Boateng, that had it was littered. Emmanuel Clottey was in that team. It was littered with quality. You look in that same time period, between 2008 and 2010, you had Kuja Samoa playing in the Ghana Premier League. You had Harrison Affo, who left around 2009. You had Samuel Inkum, who left post 2010, around that same period, to Basel. And then you bring that to this generation and ask yourself, are we really talking about the same league? So I see the cynicism. If we're honest about it, the quality is not the same. Now, to this matter of Richmond Lamptey and the quality of players of the national team, let's be honest about this. And I'll use a basketball example that you like a lot. A lot of times, because we talk, we feel that it's easy. If we took the average NBA player and brought him to come and play in the Tema League, the worst NBA player, you think of the worst NBA player
100%.
And brought him to play in our good friend Yao Ming's Tema League. that player would average 50.
He's cooking everybody. Triple doubles on the nightly.
50, 10, and 10. If we brought the worst player in the G League, come and play in that same league, that player will average 40, 10, and 10. The quality of a player who plays in Europe, particularly whether the person sits on the bench, we can be we banter aside. The general quality of a player who has made it in Europe and plays in a professional football team is extremely high. We can sit there and say that, this person is as good as this. But I'll tell you this, when those boys come, when Edmonado is having a completely atrocious season, it does not mean that when we bring Edmonado to the Ghana Premier League, he's coming to sit on the bench. He might walk away with Player of the Year. You might disagree based on what he's done. But have we seen Edmonado at his best? Yes, we saw him play in the Champions League. He did not play against Real Madrid. We did all kinds of stories. So at his best, that is his upside. What is Richmond Lante's upside? Have we seen at his ultimate best? What is the highest peak he's played at? He's had a decent 2 months. But again, I tell you this. If you look at Richmond Lamptey's generation, and I always say this to other players, there's a reason why Richmond Lamptey is here, but Ashimero is not here. There's a reason why Waja left at the time. There's a reason why Martin Entry was here, but others left. That generation of Wafa was amongst the most heavily scouted generation of footballers I have ever seen.
True.
That's the time where their relationship with Red Bull was at its peak. If you knew how to play, they wouldn't even blink. You will go. So ask yourself, how come all those ones left and he stayed? I said the same thing when half the folks signed Kunedu Yaudo. The boys in the room will attest to this. There's a reason why. The fact that the player is doing what does not mean the player does not have defects, especially when you increase the level of quality. Now, Richmond Lamptey in this league that we are playing, where game in play, we are averaging basic. I'll give you a typical example. So the Premier League, ball in play averages 55 minutes. That's the English Premier League. How many minutes do you think the ball is in play in Ghana averagely, in this Ghana league that we play?
I think 20
if the Premier League averages 55 minutes of ball in play, how many minutes do you think this league averages? The quality of shot creation is some of the worst I have ever seen. The quality of defensive schemes is amongst the worst that we've seen. The quality of goalkeeping, all of you are talking about rated attack. It's not just rated attack. It is a general league malaise. We don't have quality goalkeepers in the league. The best goalkeeper in the league right now.
Ajele has.
Coach, just give me Coach, I don't have too much time, so you relax.
Go ahead.
But per this argument, Kofi Ba and Fred Chie have been amongst the best goalkeepers in the league this season. Kofi Ba is a Samatex. I know Kofi Ba. He was Liberty's professional goalkeeper for 5 years before he went to Samatex. He's had 7 clean sheets. Frederick Chase, the goalkeeper of Midiama, he's had some decent performances. Do you really want to put Fred J in goal at an AFCON and try against a certain caliber of attackers?
Mohamed Salah is coming.
You understand? We especially based on the kind of errors that we've seen them make, the kind of judgments. So I get it that we all have biases, and it's not helped by the fact that we, the journalists, are also culpable in it. I must say this. We did the same thing with the free Ebania conversation. And we must have that conversation about how we let our biases permeate this particular discussion. So we push the players that we like, that we are familiar with. Okay, so it was Barnier, it was Dan Lad, even in the face of the obvious, which is what has brought this conversation. Because other than that, before this conversation started, it was almost a general acceptance that the quality of the Ghana League was bad. So how then, out of the blue, simply in support of a move that, okay, we must have a local player because Edmondado is bad. Yes, Edmondado is playing horrible football. But let us replace him with somebody. Okay, so who has the loudest mouth? Richmond Dante's squad has the loudest mouth. But like Coach said, and like you said, if we actually were to watch the league properly, Isaac Minta at Ediana, fantastic season that he's having. Manaf, you mentioned Manaf, he's having a brilliant season. Godfrey Tuahene of Dreams FC is amongst the best central. If Yaminta was talking about the one-touch pass, nobody does it better than Godfrey Tuahene, not even Richmond Lamte. But who watches Dreams FC games? It's an empty stadium when they play. How many times are they on television? So nobody sees. Accra Great Olympics have a boy called Emmanuel Entry. If the boy who wears Accra Great Olympics number 10, if you have not watched him before, Emmanuel Entry, in my estimation, is perhaps the best central midfielder in the league, bar none. But who has heard of Emmanuel Entry? Nobody does, because who brought his Olympics? So this conversation sometimes becomes a matter of who has the loudest mouth, not necessarily who actually knows how to play. So in the end, Richmond Lamte's camp is the best. The FA folds under the pressure, he gets selected. But it's an undeserved selection because he doesn't really bring the quality. And like you said, he gets into the team, he struggles, he comes back home, which is what we have seen. A lot of the boys go there and struggle. And finally, just to say this, look, if the footballers themselves are honest with you, and most of you work with the players, look, the Ghana boys will tell you when they play with the boys who come from abroad, the gap is a big gap. It is not a small gap.
Facts only.
Gap is a very big gap. It is not. It is the reason why at the moment we take a player from the Ghana Premier League and he goes to Europe. Either you spend time with based on your age, you spend time with the under 19s or under 20s, or you spend time with, you have to spend a full season with the B side to refine your understanding of the game, to understand your understanding of drills before they move you up. How then do we suddenly think that these players who, when they move to the elite level of the game, are required to take a gap year? Basically, if we're doing academics, a whole gap year to learn the system, can suddenly walk into national teams and perform, which is why our national teams don't do well. So let us put our personal biases aside and the fact that we like these players. They're all good players. We hope that their careers turn out good. But in trying to find solutions to the problem of quality that we have in our national team, let us not let cynicism lead us to on this path. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Bless up, my brother. That was very crisp. You heard Godfred Akotobo for there. The Black Chinese. Yeah, dropping gems. Okay, let's move the discussion on. Let's talk about some Premier League action because it's a hot game this weekend. It has different legs. So first up, let's talk about Manchester United because you always give us good stuff to talk about. CEO Murta has stated categorically that Erik ten Hag is going nowhere. But this entire week, rumors have been growing that United are lining up Graham Potter for the Manchester. Charlie, don't do that.
Top coach.
Don't do this. They are lining up Graham Potter. Let me take the
what
first thoughts.
Have I not said? It's every day, every week, every month or every other month. My prediction. Me, I've seen it all. When I say it, people fight me. The people on Twitter, they fight me. The people in the official Man United group, they fight me. But I always say it, Man United every day reminds us that as a football club, they are walking backwards. If you have seen Michael Jackson do the moonwalk, Wait.
Billie Jean.
It's not my. That's what they are doing. They are doing the
United.
Why are they doing this to themselves?
Who against Granyede? I mean, you're not supposed to be losing every weekend or every. No, you don't even make it fun. But coach, just crisp thoughts on this. Can Graham Potter walk in and do Eric Ten Hag's job? I'm not even asking you if United should fire Ten Hag. I'm just saying, in case that scenario does emerge, do you see Potter as somebody who can get things right at United?
He'll get the team relegated immediately. I'm telling you honestly.
How?
Chairman.
Graham
Ben, a team.
Graham Potter says.
Ben,
Meta said that.
I said a bunch of players.
Have you forgotten Potter ball?
A bunch of players. Listen. A bunch of their own paddy, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they sank him. No, it was they brought Ojam. They're one of the greatest too. They managed to sack Ojam. Then they brought Ole, their own friend. In 18 months' time, they connived to kick him out. Then they brought Ralph Rangnick. He's not even an insider. They managed to do and he Charlie.
Are you
then
saying
they brought? I'm saying
there are babies with sharp teeth at United.
If Eric Ten Hag and all these others couldn't deal with these players, Graham Potter, a player who was a manager who at Chelsea before he took decisions was asking players, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that?
Maybe that's what United need.
A manager who
a manager who is understanding.
Yes,
the Chelsea
the
job.
coach. Yes.
Listen, the Chelsea job is never as big as the United job.
Shots fired.
That is a factual truth. We see coaching Chelsea is not as big as coaching United.
I beg to differ a little. That's been one of the most volatile coaching positions in the last 20
as for
years.
their firing and sacking, they have chosen to be there.
Doesn't that make it a complicated job?
No. The size of the club we are talking about.
Oh no, now you're slight tackling the people.
No, I'm telling you honestly. Chelsea is like an infinitesimal element amongst all the elements. Infinitesimal element.
I can't stand this.
No, I'm just saying that can you sincerely compare the Chelsea job to the United job? Go ask Jose Mourinho, he will tell you.
Recency bias. Recently, I think Chelsea, not to talk about tradition, but Chelsea have been a bigger team than United.
Graham Potter took over a Chelsea team.
Listen.
We're talking about success.
Graham Potter took over a Chelsea team that were European champions there 2 years before. He will be taking over a United team that has not been champions of Europe since 2008.
Maybe I'm not getting my words right. But what I'm telling you is that
there are levels.
There are levels to these things. No levels here.
Where's it in the case?
There are levels.
That level is like you coaching Barcelona and you are comparing coaching Chelsea to coaching Barcelona. United, we have our mates. They have their mates.
Levels.
Unless you don't want to be truthful.
Play by sizes.
By sizes. That is what I was trying to say. Chelsea is a big team. Don't get me. It's a big team.
But there's levels to big teams.
No boy.
Okay.
That is the point I'm making.
I'm not sure they will agree with you, but carry on.
It is not about anybody agree or disagree.
Facts are facts.
It's not about anybody agree or there are certain things you
Aston Villa, the Nottingham Forest.
Build your point.
If you are serious, they are not serious.
That's what I'm
United under Glazers. As for the Jim Ratcliffe, the unseriousness will be gargantuan. I'm telling you. Because do you know why? How on earth can you be thinking about if, let's say, they decide to sack Eric Ten Hag, of all the proper coaches in the world, how on earth should Graham Potter's name even crop up for consideration? How?
I say he knows the league. He knows the league.
Which league?
The league he coached with Brighton and Hove Albion.
The league that he consulted his own players on selection matters.
He believes in inclusive leadership.
Yes. You see, forget. The moment you start doing that as a coach, that is your downfall. No wonder the Chelsea player said he didn't know his way about. Even simple Dreska, he couldn't coach. It is not about appointing Graham Potter. Me.
So you've told them
discussing already. United, Objectively. Like I've always done.
Yeah. It's true. Add that. It's important.
Like I've always done.
Add it.
Look.
Okay.
Back this manager. Back him. Nathan says something good. If you're a United fan and you've been with this team for ages, you have to agree with Nathan. Reineke said it. They made mockery of him. Everything he said has come to pass. Back this manager. Get rid of it. He said, this team need a complete reset. 360 degrees 10. Reset. And the reset is give it to a manager who believes in the youth. Let him build his team. Let him go pick one big name, come and put it inside like that. Small. Few, kakra.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I see it.
But they are doing it.
So I'm saying back the manager.
But they are backing him. They are backing
So
him.
don't think about sacking him.
On the flip side
Yeah.
too,
Is
whilst the manager needs to be backed, the manager, also has to help himself.
No, I don't think he's decided not to help himself.
No, I'm just making my.
And the players too. They should help
You see,
themselves.
it's about standing up and being counted as a player. Look,
Like Capito.
we were watching United and Bayern Munich. When the changes were made, that's why I say if you're a United fan, you shouldn't condone the Glazers being in charge of this team for 1 minute. United. Anthony Martial is still a United player.
Oh, he'll go.
Now, if United is effecting
Doesn't
a
have
change
suitors. Nobody wants.
in the Champions League, Namakaba Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal.
But coach, is because of injuries.
No.
Real talk. The few times I've seen
Manchester City has got injuries.
the few times I've seen Hannibal play, he's been better than a lot of United regulars.
Chelsea have got injuries. Let me tell you some people have got injuries.
Newcastle are
How do you
dealing with
bring in Hannibal and Cole? Look at the first 11. Look,
Hasn't Kobimelo been promising?
No, but he's a young. You see, this is Charlie.
But you always say that if you are good enough, it doesn't matter if you are young.
No. It counts if you are young. You don't carry you don't put the shoulder, the weight of United on Kobimeno. I expect him to look. I expect him. If I don't see him in the team against Liverpool, I will be shocked because it has to be he and Amrabat, and then Opongo, Otilo, here. So I about say.
Who's still Congo?
Scott McTominay.
Ebejo Monaka to our ball. Don't sack Ten Hag. Me, I don't support the team. If you sack him, you go and bring Graham Potter. I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, this coach, what is shocking to me is that Man United supporters thinking that after that very bad season, this coach comes in, places third, went to 2 domestic cup final. All of a sudden, everything is solved. It took Alex Ferguson when this league was not even as competitive as it took Alex Ferguson. How many years before he won even the FA Cup? 6 years before he even won. He was at the verge of being sacked when he won the FA Cup. There's a history to this team. How many managers have you sacked? Thankfully, Maguire is in his last year. Martial last year.
Capito is getting a renewal.
Apu from where? You saw the Inkwe. Include where Jibo.
The man held up.
All that is don't sack the manager.
Pull up. Oh, your man pull up.
How far is Man United from top 4?
Oh, Man United just 3 points.
Yeah.
So why panic?
But we are making it look like just 3 points. When was the last time United got 3 points?
No, but you see, in the league, they will lose some, they will win some.
They're winning. They're losing games in droves.
No, you see, that's what. How far are they from top 4? How far are they from top 4?
Shouldn't this season have been an upgrade on last season?
It should have been, but unfortunately, the man who made the biggest difference in the season is injured. I believe that United have been struggling because of the absence of Carlos Casemiro and Lisandro Martinez. You cannot cancel the impact of these 2 players on United last season. You can't.
Actually,
so back the manager. Okay.
Back the manager.
Don't hire Graham Potter.
It's a no-go area.
Fair enough.
I'm saying it is true. If United want to back the manager, they can back the manager. My point is that Eric Ten Hag should also help himself by cutting out some of the decisions. This business of the team shape all over the place. I was watching the Bayern Munich game again. Can you believe there was a certain sequence in the Bayern Munich game where when Bayern Munich United turned the ball over and Bayern Munich was attacking United. Do you know where Amrabat was? If you turn the midfield upside down, Bruno and McTominay, they were the ones closer to the United goal, and Amrabat was behind. What kind of structure is this?
You see, just to add to that,
what kind of structure?
I remember that sequence very well. But most people tend to laud Maguire. Anytime United plays with Maguire, the person can never be coordinated. You see, because the man is so bad in terms of recovery that even when the press is triggered by Højlund and Anthony and Garnacho, Bruno and Pugo, Maguire sits very deep. When Amrabat is good, because these guys are good, everybody's, if it's Varane and Martinez, the recovery is there. So they can go and they can close. You see, this manager has been denied the opportunity of playing some key players.
It is true. I
So
understand that.
don't sack him. No, go. Accept what is going on.
I'm saying that, but the manager too has made mistakes.
Thank you. Let me go to Edwin
Especially with his players
the Liverpool
that you
game.
recommended.
Like players like who?
Anthony, for instance. I mean, let's be real.
The United rebuild conversation is over. Let's move it on. Let's talk about.
The guy has 4 goals and 2 assists in 37 league games.
And that makes him bad as a winger?
He's terrible.
Put up, you see, Guess what? Put out the records of proper wingers in the league. Put it out.
You see, that's one.
Put it out.
Relax,
in terms
coach,
of goals and assists. Put it
coach,
out.
relax. You
Bukayo Saka is a good example.
Coach, that's why my mantra is you look beyond the numbers. And that's why I believe in the eye test theory. I watched the game.
You said that and you see Anthony. His assists and goals are bad. Give me the assists.
Let's talk about Liverpool.
He don't have no goals and assists.
Let's talk about Liverpool.
You see, Anthony, is he a player that who has performed well for Man United ever since he moved?
The whole team has been bad. No.
Let's talk about Liverpool.
The whole team has been bad.
We are begging. You see, Liverpool, we beg them. You see, as for this, I'm speaking as we know that Charlie, when they look at United, they must be licking their lips and say, "Yay, go for your best shot, million." But we beg.
8 trips to Anfield, United have scored 1 goal.
That's horrible.
Once.
And
in
I don't
8 trips.
And I don't think that trend will turn any better. I'm serious. Look, let's all jokes aside. If you ask me how Man United will survive at Anfield, I don't know, and I don't think they can. And I think he will follow a trend. Eric Ten Hag's away games, especially at the bigger teams, is so poor. And it strikes me, how is this trend even happening? That a manager, your time at a club, you've never won one big game away from. Why are you like this?
Why is he like
this? No, I'm just saying, Ben, you see, look.
It's the players.
Look, you can complain about the players. And
the buck stops with you.
The point is, Ben, if you lose one game, think about it. In Alex Ferguson's last season at Man United, he won at Man City, won at Chelsea, won at Liverpool, drew at Arsenal.
He had Vidic.
I'm coming.
He
Chris,
had Ferdinand.
No problem.
He had Gings.
Yes.
He had Rooney.
All of that.
He had Antonio Valencia.
And I'm saying...
He had Carrick. He had... Compared to these chaps.
And they were all committed.
They ought spend 100 million on a player.
Whatever it is, I'm saying that.
100 million on Anthony.
You see, I'm saying this. If you lose one game at Man City, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it cannot be, or you lose at Liverpool or Arsenal. It cannot be that every time in Eric Ten Hag's time, he's gone to Liverpool. Tomorrow, Sunday will be his second trip. In 18 months, he hasn't won at Newcastle, at Aston Villa, at Chelsea, at Arsenal, at Man City, and at Liverpool. That run is horrible. You can blame players all you want, but when the red L's are there in chains, you also have to think about why is it that we are losing. It cannot be a lack of player motivation, obviously, it's there. But there's something primarily wrong with tactics.
You see,
hold on.
I agree with Nathan.
Let him just land it
It's
out.
worrying. United say they are a big club. You cannot win away from home at your rivals. What are you doing? So I think that run, even if nothing or all other things go in favor of Man United, I think that run is so horrible. And it is a very horrible weight to carry to a place like Anfield. It is the worst record to take to a place like Anfield. And I think I've heard Jurgen Klopp saying all kinds of things that while people say United are bad, it means they'll show up. Mr. Klopp, United will not show up on Sunday. Even if they show up physically, mentally, and spiritually, they are not there. But please don't put 7 past them. You 3, it's okay. 3-0, fine. 2-0. We know you can score 7. You score 1 first half, 1 second half, we'll live with it. Yeah. But 7, I don't know. I've heard other German Pennant. He says he doesn't think the 7 will happen. Mr. Pennant, it can easily happen. It can easily happen.
Let me take thoughts from Yao and Edwin on this United Liverpool game. Expectations?
Yeah, very short one. Everything on paper says United are going to be thrashed. The fact that United have not won a big game this season, and I can go through the list, but I think everyone knows it. And they've lost those games really poorly. The performances in those games, except the first 10 minutes against Man City, have been horrendous, especially against Newcastle, where I felt that game should have ended 7 or 8-0. Liverpool have been very, very good offensively recently. That's taking them to the top of the league. So all signs are pointing to a United thrashing. However, I don't think it's going to happen. I actually feel United are going to give Liverpool a game.
Me neither.
A game this weekend. First of all, this United team, they might be under pressure because of other results, but they are not under pressure in this game because no one expects anything of them. And a United with no pressure in a game, I think they are at their most dangerous. They are most dangerous when there's no pressure on them.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Did you watch them play on Tuesday night?
On Tuesday nights, there was so much pressure on them because everyone expected them to beat a Bayern side that had already qualified. Everyone expected them to win that game and at least give them themselves a good chance of making it to the next round of the Champions League. However, in this game, everyone has been talking about Liverpool 7, Liverpool 6, Liverpool 5. The players know it.
10.
The players know it, and they'll go into this game with all that pressure off them. That even though it's probably their biggest rivals in the league, no one expects anything of us. So let's show them something. And a United team that without pressure is at its most dangerous. Second of all, Liverpool themselves have been very shaky defensively. We talk about them going forward, very good offensively, but defensively they've shown that they can be exposed.
Played on Thursday as well, missing McAllister.
Exactly. Brighton have exposed them. Luton exposed them. Several teams have exposed them this season.
All the teams that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest. Do Man United look like they can put a game plan together to disrupt Liverpool? Look, that's the point. You see, I'm asking very basic questions. It's not like we've all not seen Man United play. Can they?
Can they? Yes.
You think they can put a game plan together?
Yes.
To go and disrupt
And
Liverpool?
the game plan is simple. Match the intensity of Liverpool.
No. The game plan should
Let's wrap it up.
Play as a small team that you've become. Play as the small team that you've become right now. Defend deep.
Edwin is having his revenge.
Defend deep. You are a Luton right now to Liverpool. You are a Sheffield United. You are not going to match Liverpool in terms of intensity. You go into that game matching them in terms of intensity, trying to play high-flying football. You are going to get beat 10. You go in there knowing that right now you are not on their level. So play as a small team would. Defend deep. Try and take your chances on the counter and set pieces. That is how United are going to get at Liverpool. And I either see Liverpool winning this slightly or United getting a draw. It's not going to be a battering that everyone is talking about.
Coach, you get the last word.
I think, without a doubt, Liverpool starts as favourite. And I will be surprised if they don't win. Look, truth be told, Edwin talk about United not being under any pressure. I beg to differ. This is the biggest game they will play in the season. The game per its stature.
You mean your fans don't care how bad you've been?
You see, the Liverpool team will go in there thinking they want to add more pepper and salt to the wounds of United. That alone compels United to go out there and show up. And that is the pressure. For me, I'm looking at what is at hand or what Eric Ten Hag has at his disposal. If you look at the players he's going with, I will be shocked if I don't see Wan-Bissaka at right back, Dalot at left back,
Thank you.
Luke Shaw and Varane as the two centre backs. I will be shocked if I don't see Amrabat alongside Kobe Menu as the two deep line midfielders, with Kobe Menu given the responsibility to go up the field to push the ball further, but when he loses, he drops back. I'll be shocked if I don't see Anthony on the right. I'll be shocked. Clearly, in the absence of Bruno, McTominay will have to play because he offers that genuine goal threat from midfield. That is where he wants to play. With Amrabat and Kobe Menu, he's not required to drop maybe defensively. If the block is behind the ball, then he needs to come out. And then, of course, Rashma Holland will have to lead the attack. And then the left-hand side. If Rashford is ready to work,
he's not.
If that's what I'm choosing my words very carefully. If he's ready to work, he plays ahead of Garnacho, and Garnacho sits on the bench to come in for either Rashford, Anthony, or Rasmus Højlund Assad when, depending on how the game will go. As for on the part of Liverpool, we all know everybody will be in there.
Salah.
Apart from McAllister, who we are told may not be fit for the game. That again is going to compel Jurgen Klopp to lose some form of bite in the middle. The attacking threat of Liverpool is there. United cannot afford to concede in the first 15 minutes. If they do, a minimum of 3, they will take. But if they stay in the game as long as they can, or as long as they should, don't be surprised if the game becomes very interesting, like Edwin says. If United were to score first, all they need to do is to make sure they don't concede immediately. They'll be in for it.
That's it from us here. Let's take quick shout-outs. Of course, Mrs. Nimley is the star of today, alongside Coach Nimley. Oh, I know that. Oh, Charlie. Quick shouts before we go.
Oh, my shouts to Coach Nimley and Mrs. Nimley. That's
Yeah.
Celebrates them on Sports.
One bell for them.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Chris. Chris is a wonderful guy. He's a great guy. He's like an older brother.
Top.
He's a super guy.
Bless up
Yeah.
for Coach.
A lot of people don't know that, but my relationship with Chris goes beyond the studio. That's right.
Lovely
like
stuff.
An older brother to
Lovely
me.
stuff.
Coach, happy birthday to you.
With the odd calls to check on you,
The only thing is that he doesn't call me on European football nights.
But you
should still call me and give me objective analysis.
Objectivity. Well, quick shouts to Roland Odoi and Robert Bekwe Baini. Big shouts to you guys. Love you.
Big shout outs to Richmond Lamptey. Keep the Black Stars dream alive. Show proudly brought to us by Game Park Limited.
Hey,
and
wait,
Belpuka.
I have not done.
Hey, sorry. Apologies.
Confusion, of course.
Oh, sorry, I beg you. I'm sorry. Please.
Look, get here. Somewhere 15 years ago, my doctor friend, Dr. Charles Odame, you saw him here last week.
Yeah. Yes.
He introduced me to the woman of my life. At the very first sight.
Love at first sight.
Look, I knew. You see the vim with I'm saying.
We me taste.
I knew
that
Susan was going to be my wife. I didn't need a second invitation.
I see.
I could tell
Yes.
from the way she spoke, the humility in her voice, and the dedication to whatever she was saying. I told Charles that, Charles, give me the chance to get closer to this lady. Charles said, Coach, I trust you. I know what you are capable of doing.
Oh, Charlie.
Go ahead. So I got closer. Look, it has never been in doubt. I've taken some bold life decisions because of my wife. She knows it. And I'd sit here today and say, I've not regretted any of them. Some has gone against the will of my family. But I stood my ground, knowing exactly what I want and what I need. And I said, this is the woman for me. Nobody will stand in my way.
Oh, Charlie.
Together with my daughters.
What God has put together.
It is my birthday, but most importantly,
it is
the birthday of my wife. Together with my daughters, Davida, Babette, Odelia, my biological daughters, and together with my other daughters, Mamiama, Mefia, we say happy birthday to Mrs. Susan Obribia Nimley. Sweetheart, I'm coming home. You know the way I do my things.
Sweetheart, I'm coming home.
For me. I'm coming to do the do.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Happy birthday to
I just want to read this.
I love you.
This quick message from our very good friend, engineer Mahama Abdullahi. He says, if any Man United fan has the slightest hope that we, and he's a United fan, says we will even draw with Liverpool, then that person is capable of turning water into wine.
Nice.
Says, on this note, I pray for a minimum score line.
Quick one. And a big shout outs to Imos, aka Emmanuel Owusu.
How crazy?
No, you hard.
It be hard guy.
No, you hard.
Boga Kwesi. Boga Kwesi.
No, he's on some pro stuff.
Boga Kwesi.
Emos on different level.
Charlie, happy birthday to you, bro. Happy birthday to you. And also from Shanton.
The rabbit guy.
Oh yeah, Shanton. Say Charlie, some quick shout outs to Sam and Kingsley from Haps Global Logistics Limited.
Is it Mr. Hammond?
Always, yes. Always hooked on
Mr.
Panorama.
Hammond.
Blessed. Tell coach a day for him. I be no dada.
I do trust him. I do trust him.
That be all.
No more no bafi am ile bodu ba kejeche.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Hammond. Mrs. Hammond.
Nice one. That's all from us here. The Premier League preview show comes up next. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Yao, Edwin, and Coach. Thank you to all of you out there who made time to listen. We'll upload this on Spotify.